What's up, fight fans? Remember, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you're not new and you've been watching various videos, thank you very much. Honestly, much appreciated. I hate to do negative videos about the sport I love, but because I love it so much, I think it's fair to say that I look for the good and the bad of it, because I want it to be the best sport in the world. And I think for it to be the best sport in the world, I think certain things need to change within the sport. Look, when we talk about PDs in boxing, or PDs in general, we're not talking about a 100-meter sprint here. We're not talking about cycling. We're not talking about someone smashing a baseball out of the arena, out of the stadium, whatever you want to call it. We're talking about hitting each other. We're talking about damaging each other. We're talking about some boxers have died, some boxers are paralyzed, some boxers are brain dead, some boxers are broke, some boxers can't speak properly, some boxers are mumbling their words. We're talking about a very, very dangerous sport at the best of times. At the best of times, two boxers get going in the ring clean in terms of none of them taking anything performance enhancing. It's a dangerous sport. Hence why some people still call it gladiatorial, some people still think it's a sport that should be banned, and various other things. A lot of people want more regulations, everything, because of its danger, right? So I think when you talk about performance enhancing, added to all those dangers, I think it's a subject that, although it might be a bit taboo, it's a subject that needs to be discussed, a subject that needs to be brought to the fore. I'm absolutely no expert whatsoever when it comes to performance enhancing drugs. I've interviewed a few people on my old channel, Box Talk. I interviewed Gable Montoya, who's known for his work with regards to studies on performance enhancing drugs. He's done so many books on it. I think he's written numerous articles in it. He just knows his shit. And he enlightened me and Ryan at the time to so much that what goes on, especially within American boxing, with regards to the so-called cleanup of the sport, which doesn't happen. And I kind of felt like I had to talk about it a bit more, just to kind of not let this subject die away. Not particularly for any reason, but I kind of felt like, let's just discuss it a bit. Let's get it out there. Let's get people talking about it, just so we can improve the sport. That's all it's about, right? See, I put Anthony Joshua as my first picture on the thumbnail because, first and foremost, I'm a big AJ fan. I think I've done videos in the past talking about AJ, but I read a lot of forums. I watch numerous guys' videos on YouTube. I think so many guys do great stuff on YouTube, and he seems to be the name that pops up a lot. A lot of fans, you know, look at his physique and seem to question whether or not Anthony Joshua's on some form of performance enhancing drugs. Do I think he is? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I mean, look, I've been hurt by numerous sportsmen over the years that I thought, no way is that person on drugs. Absolutely no chance. And they were. The likes of Marion Jones in athletics, John Jones, who I'm going to talk about later, in the UFC. So I don't underestimate anybody. Anybody. And the reason I don't underestimate anybody is because, look, the fame and fortune, it's been proven time and time again. If you take a bit of needles, blood transfusions, whatever performance enhancing drugs you take, 9 times out of 10 you're going to beat your competitor, and more so often than not you're going to become very, very, very rich. And that's the key thing here, wealth. If you can get an edge over your competitor and you can win, the chances are you're going to earn more money than that person. That's just the way it works, unfortunately. And that means you're going to earn some more money and you're going to be able to provide for your family, you're going to be able to make a very, very, very good living. And because it's been proven in the past, people are just copying that formula. It's what works. And we've not done yet anything in the sport of boxing in which to shy people away from that. And from my recollection, I could be wrong, there's been no lifetime bans from boxing. I mean, you look at it, for example, and this has nothing to do with performance enhancing drugs, but we'll get back to it. Antonio Margarito, I think it's clearly been proven, cheated against Miguel Cotto. Again, not performance enhancing drugs, but Antonio Margarito done plaster of Paris and basically went out there, I think, to kill someone. That's just my own opinion on it, because the fight was going to be hard for Cotto anyway. So he went there to kind of get a further edge, and as far as I'm concerned, that's a lifetime ban. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, you should be in jail. You should be in jail for it, but nothing's happened. You can't name a big name boxer in the last 10 years, maybe 15, that has been caught for using PEDs in boxing. You can't. Now, you're not going to tell me that every single top boxer in the world is clean. You're just not. You're not going to convince me. And people might say, Povetkin, I'm talking top boxers. I mean, top 20, 30 pound for pound. You're not going to convince me that they're all clean. You're just not going to convince me. I mean, I just don't think boxing wants to clean up the sport. You look at the UFC, for example, right? Now, the UFC back in the day, for all of you that watched it, I remember watching UFC 1, 2, 3, all the way I started when it was UFC 1. And you saw guys looking like bodybuilders, like real jacked shoulders, like traps like that. Jacked to their nines. I mean, these guys were literally Mount Rushmore of steroid users. They were kicking the shit out of each other, and we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it, we loved it, but in order for them to get regulated and be able to, especially get the New York contract where they can fight in Madison Square Garden in New York and get almost legalized in different territories around the world, they had to kind of come a bit better than that. People weren't accepting that there were that many steroid users in your organization, you weren't doing nothing about it. So what did? They got USADA involved, and all of a sudden, big star names started getting popped. Big names. And that's the difference. We're talking massive names for the UFC started to get pop, left, right and centre. That's an organisation that's trying to clean up their sport. I don't care what people say, it's true. Like when you look, okay, think of it now for example. UFC has, I'd say, Conor McGregor is their biggest star. Obviously, Ronda Rousey's retired. Conor might come back, might not come back. He doesn't really need to right now. He said he likes his fat belly. He's okay with it. Their biggest star, other than those, is John Jones. John Jones is their biggest star. John Jones versus Daniel Cormier done nearly 1 million pay-per-view buys in their recent fight, UFC 213. John Jones got popped for PEDs. He's going to be out for 4 years. That's their biggest star. Yeah? John Jones has been popped recently. Anderson Silva got popped for something. Said it was a sex pill, whatever, got popped. Chael Sonnen got popped. Big stars. Junior Dos Santos got popped. Alistair Overeem got popped. It goes on and on and on. Brock Lesnar got popped. You're talking massive stars here are getting caught left, right and centre. Now, you mean to tell me there's nobody in boxing? I mean, no one? The easiest way, and people might say, oh, but there's VADA testing, and it's not year-round testing. That's the only way you catch a cheat in boxing is to do year-round testing. When they're not expecting it, someone comes to the house, takes a bit of their piss, takes a bit of blood, and then it's like, well, I'm not fighting for 6 months. That's the only way you catch them, because what these boxers do, and it's so easy, they cycle on and off. You know what the thing is about boxing? You know you've got a fight booked. Your promoter will tell you, like, okay, for example, Canelo GGG, right? And again, I am. No, I'm not. I'm not saying Canelo's doing anything, but what I'm trying to say, Canelo versus GGG. We as fans knew Canelo was going to fight GGG after the Chavez performance, right? He came in the ring. He said, oh, you're next, my friend. Canelo's probably known for about 4 months he's fighting GGG. Maybe even longer, 6, 7 months. So, again, this is not saying Canelo's, I'm trying to say how it probably could work if you were doing PEDs. So, although there's VADA testing for this fight, if you know you're fighting Canelo, you would start maybe juicing a few months before. You would just start, right? So you'd get all the benefits of that juicing. So when then the cycle wears off, you then start your normal training, then VADA starts testing you, they can't find shit. You know why? Because you've got all the benefits of it all 4 months earlier. That's how boxers are doing it. They know when their fights are coming, they cycle on, cycle off, very easy, never going to get popped. Never going to get popped. Whereas, if you want to catch them, it's year-round testing. It's simple, it's year-round testing. A promoter needs to take a stance here. A promoter needs to take a stance. And the reason why promoters won't take a stance, because they know their top boxers are juicing. And people might say, Ade, you're going too far. I'm not going too far. I'm in and around the boxing world. I love boxing just like the rest of you guys, but I don't want people to go in and knowing you could get hurt by someone that's taken something. It's just not fair. And the fact is, look, I'm human. If I know I'm going into ring against someone and that, I know for a fact, because gym guys know, I know for a fact that that boxer over there I'm fighting's taking something, I'm taking something. Because I'm not, you know, I'm taking something. I'm just not going to go to bed every night and pray to God that he gets caught. I want that paycheck. And I think this is sometimes the scenario that goes around in boxers' heads. This is the scenario that goes around in boxers' heads. I mean, come on, you cannot tell me one Manuel Marquez weren't juicing. Never got caught, never got popped. You cannot tell me that guy weren't juicing. I had my speculations about Pacquiao as well. I had my speculations about Canelo. People might diss me. This is a guy that seemed to have cardio issues. They're all fixed. He's stronger, he's bigger, he's faster. Not going to go there. Guys, this sport needs to get cleaned. It needs to get cleaned or it's never going to be taken seriously. Right now, it's still considered gladiatorial. It's still considered bloody. It needs to be cleaned up. It needs to be cleaned up. Come on, guys, think about it. No one's getting caught. No one's getting caught. No, I'm not having no one's juicing. I'm just not having it. Every other sport, you're juicing. Every other sport out there that people are juicing. Every other sport. Every other sport, top athletes getting caught. Sharapova in tennis got popped. Gatlin in athletics got popped. It can got Lance Armstrong got popped. Literally go through all the sports in the world right now. NFL, baseball, everyone gets popped all the time. Boxing, physically the hardest sport in the world. Everyone's clean and just taking their vitamin A and vitamin B and C's. Get the fuck out of here. Guys, it's going on too long and I think we as boxing fans need to, I'm not going to say take a stance because it's not that serious. For us anyway, it's not like World War III out there. But nonetheless, I think that we shouldn't think when we hear VADA and USADA are testing that, oh my, especially VADA, shouldn't think that, oh God, out of competition testing is the only way to catch these guys. Because right now, some guys are looking very suspect on those scales. Very, very suspect. Gabe Montoya said a lot about Floyd Mayweather as well. You got to watch the video. You got to watch the video, guys. If you go to my Box Talk channel, check out my interview with Gabe Montoya, and you see exactly what I'm talking about. But let me know what you think. Peace.